Hello and welcome to the first of the midweek addition to my route to Bergen City Marathon 2026. Uh, just moving on a little bit, as from the last video, as I said, I was been sick and all that lot, so it's still kind of getting in that recovery mode from the sickness into a marathon training block again. But I also had a bit of fun on Wednesday. I mean, it's Thursday now as I'm recording this. But I just want to go through a little few bits and that of the actual training and maybe put up a little bit of kind of data for you, because I think I did kind of push out that first video a little bit all straight off, done direct, which most of my videos I try to do. And that, to be honest, I don't really script very much. But just going over it, I'm following like a Lee Grantham structure to his training plans. So on a Monday, we start with a recovery run. And I also put in my strength and conditioning into that one as well. Normally, he would do an easy run on a Tuesday, but I have my kids and there's a lot of after-school activities that day as well, so I don't really have the time as such. So I normally take that as a rest day and make sure that I'm ready for the Wednesday session, which is always an interval session. It's a Pacific workout, one of the quality runs. So I really kind of want to be fresh for that as best as possible. And then following on to his normal routines, it's a Thursday rest day, just so you absorb that Wednesday interval session. And then on the Friday, you can come back with like a recovery run. And that. So then on the Saturday, it's an easy run, so it's a little bit more of a higher heart rate, I guess, or a little bit more perceived effort, depending on how you're running these things. And then on the Sunday, we go into the Pacific long run, which has sections of quality in that. So it's not just a slow long run. And that. So I just wanted to kind of really clarify that properly, because I think it might have got a little lost with my really bad kind of way of telling things on the first video. So that's there, and there should be some bit over there that I put up. And like I said in the other video, I'm not a professional. This is just me rambling on a telephone, on a mobile phone, and then just uploading it. So it's just more helping me document my journey as well, and hopefully some of you guys find it interesting to watch as well. So basically what I did on the Monday, like I said, I'm still coming off of the sickness and I'm not being able to hit the right heart rate pattern that I should be. I mean, I've been spiking, heart rate spikes up quite a lot, quite quicker and it just wasn't stabilizing over last week, obviously, because I was sick. So I went on the treadmill. A lot of my easy runs have to kind of be on the treadmill because, as I said in the other video, we do run a little bit too quick. But we think that's slow enough, and that. So it's trying to get rid of that ego and just learning to run, but also hills come into variances over here. So I did it's supposed to be half an hour on a treadmill, but just again, the heart rate was not right on there really. I mean, I did 28 minutes. Yes, I only missed off 2, but it's not too much, too bad. But it's a recovery run, so it's supposed to feel kind of relaxed or whatever anyway. But bearing in mind, I wasn't doing a long distance run the day before. These recovery runs come into themselves, and I had noticed a very good change in my recovery runs since I started this process in my training, where I'm just trying to be lower heart rates on the easy runs. I averaged 136 beats per minute, which again, like I say, that's too high for one of these runs, really. It should have been lower, but I mean, as I'm still fighting off the sickness, it's still not, stabilized properly. So, and I would have done a strengthening, but as I didn't want to stress the body and the system anymore, so I did cut out that this week, and that although we'll go on to Wednesday's session, it was a little bit different, and I threw in a little bit of fun with that as well. So like I say, the Tuesday was just a rest day, and I was just hoping just to try and stabilise a little bit more and get rid of this cranky throat that I've got. But yeah, we hit on to Wednesday, and basically I had a bit of a joke around with some friends or some work colleagues, and we were just messing about, and they all know me as a runner and an endurance runner or whatever. So one of them, half my age, was like, "Yeah, let's do a race," and I was like, "Well, come on then, let's do 1K." And he's like, "No, I can't go that far." And I was like, "Okay, you drop it out for half a K." No. Ends up we get down to 100 meters, and I'm not a sprinter, but I was kind of hoping and quite comfortable with me that I could obviously do something and maintain it or whatever. But I had no idea how quick this guy is, and that. So we had it planned for 2 weeks, and unfortunately he fell yesterday, and that coming off of sickness. So obviously he knows I'm marathon training as well. So we want to get it over and done with, basically, so I don't hamper my marathon training. So with that, I hadn't spoken to ChatGPT about this little race, but it did set me up on a kind of a lower interval session of a 4 times 4 minutes. I was supposed to hit 156 beats per minute on these, so it's a lot lower. But so although getting in an interval session, a slightly higher aerobic, it wasn't going to stress out my system as it was hoping, so we can get back to marathon training. But as I said, I didn't let you know I was going to do this. So as a warm up, I kind of set up off from work, and I did just over 4 kilometers as a warm up. But again, it's my first run outside for a long time, and I had a little bit of a time restraint, but it kind of pushed my heart rate up too high for recovery or warm up. So again, I'm learning that process of trying to be comfortable to get slower, and by that will get me quicker in the end. And so even when I talked to ChatGPT or GPT afterwards, my heart rate was way too high in a warm up session, and then obviously I did the race, and it was great fun. And I've said before, like to some people that knew about it, all my interval sessions, I have to kind of tell myself, "You're overcooking it. Slow it down. But in this kind of thing, I've got to try and switch it and say, put more effort in. So it's all very different and a lot of fun. I had some of the other work colleagues watching, and that. But there's 3 of us running, and I came second. And that, unfortunately, youth did beat me on the day, and that. But it was great fun. And then we are going to look to do it again once marathon training's done, and he will also put some training in. But I'm hoping to kind of maybe put up the distance a little bit, just to kind of take it out of a full out sprint as such. Yes, that's thing, but also once you're gone, you're gone. There was no way I was catching him. I guess he finished about 5 meters in front of me, maybe a little bit more. But it was great fun. I'll take that defeat, but half my age, I'll hold that one. So yeah, and it was bitterly cold, and I think about -7 here in Norway, and that. So basically, that was the Wednesday. We did that. I know we had a little chat down afterwards and all this lot. So then I went out and done my actual interval session. Obviously, I kept the warm up to a very minimum, and that just a couple of minutes, and then I turned on to the 4x4. But I was overcooking them with my heart rate, because I think obviously my heart was already thinking I was going to go crazy again, so it jumps up and kind of lets it settle off. So I did the 4x4s. And so the first one, the average heart rate was 158. Second one was 165, and average one on the third was 163, and then 157. So I'd overly cooked that one. I know that. ChatGPT wasn't happy, and stressing the system out or whatever. But I had a lot of fun. I did the 4x4 intervals on my own, and it was only the 100-meter sprint that I did with someone, and a couple of us. But running's supposed to be fun, so as much as I'm in a training block, let's throw in a bit of fun. You know what I mean? And all that lot. And I kind of want to show to others that running is a thing that everybody can do. It doesn't matter, and it's you just put a bit of time to it sometimes. You know what I mean? And this guy comes straight out of it, not training at all. You know what I mean? So the guy that won, he just got youth on his age, on his side, and obviously a bit of a sporting background in the beginning. School days and things like that. So yeah, quite athletic. So. But he's not doing training or anything like that. So hopefully, if you're bringing someone else into it, then that's great. It's all a bit more fun. And so basically, that's, a weekly roundup or a half midweek roundup, of the interval, specific interval session on the Wednesday, taking the rest day today, Thursday. So tomorrow, I'll go straight back onto the recovery run. Ideally, I think the recovery runs might have to be on the treadmill because the heart rate is so low. It's something I've got to get used to, and I do have to get used to the heart rate being low outside. But it just takes a bit of time, and then obviously different elements change how your heart rate is going to be. If it's freezing cold, then your heart rate's going to be different there anyway. But obviously, if I'm trying to do a bit more heart rate training, in that sense of really checking out my caps for a run and things like that, instead of just slowing it down, I'm actually looking at average heart rates. If it gets to a certain heart rate, I've got to stop or slow it down. I'm not a guy that wants to walk during the runs. I'm not a guy that wants to walk up hills. I'd rather kind of go up the hill gently as a jog, and then yes, my heart rate will go up, but then I can try and claw that back down. But then if you do it too early, you're spiking and you're not going to recover. So I do understand it all. It is that thing that runners hear so often, that you got to run a lot slower to run faster. It's such a low heart rate and all that lot. And it is ridiculously slow. When I was doing some of these runs, I'm crazy. I'm averaging 7.5 minutes per kilometre. That's not me. That's so difficult. But if there's going to be a process and a journey on there and it works, then perfect. I have noticed that I can run a bit quicker at a higher pace and my heart rate is lower. So there is method to it. It's just egos. You got to get rid of your ego. And that's what I'm trying to do. And then we'll see how the marathon goes. It's always about trusting the process, and I do trust the process. It's a 16-week journey altogether, and that's how we're going to go. Obviously, I'm going to be starting week 5 next week, but let's get the rest of this week done, and it's still a consolidating base as I try to get back to, fitness, not fitness, but health, I guess. I want to get rid of this cold and all this snotty nose and blocked up stuff, and then we can just go proper marathon training again. But we'll leave it there. So if you can, please click like and subscribe to the channel. Tell some friends. And the more people that kind of get involved, the better. Little interaction in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, Neil_a_dad_that_runs. And it's. Just follow my journey to the Bergen City Marathon 2026. Thank you, and have a good rest of the week.